Hello, I'm Mustang Rick, and I'm going to do a tech video today on valve lash adjustment on hydraulic roller, hydraulic flat tappet, solid lift flat tappet, solid lift roller. They all basically the same, and I'm going to show you how you do them in the simple way that I do it. I've drag raced since I was 16, and it's the way I've always done it, and I've never had no failures with it, so evidently it works. So I'm going to show you how I do it, maybe make it simpler for you. And if not, give me some comments on what you think, and I'm going to show you my paper that I go by. It's pretty simple. It kind of self-explanatory. To adjust your intake valve, you want your exhaust valve starting to open. You'll adjust the intake valve. So on the intake valve adjustment, you'll want your exhaust valve starting to open. In other words, your exhaust valve's all the way up, closed. You want it starting down, starting to open. All right, on the exhaust valve adjustment, you'll want your intake valve totally open, starting to close. In other words, you'll want it starting down. You'll want it down some to adjust that exhaust valve. So that's how I do it on my paper. Now, I'm going to zoom this in a little bit so you can see the rock arms pretty good. And show you how I do this. All right, maybe a little bit too much. Let me back that off just a little bit. All right. Okay. Intake valve lines with your spark plug hole. Exhaust valve lines with your exhaust port where the header bolts are. I'm going to run this around. You can see I've already got that one closing. I'm going to run this around. All right, it said to adjust the intake valve, you want the exhaust valve starting to open. All right, it's all the way up. That means it's closed. When it starts down just a little bit, that's when it's starting to open. Okay, here we go. It's getting ready. There it goes down a little bit. Just open it up pretty good. Okay, and then you're ready to adjust this intake valve. So I'm going to loosen this intake valve up. And these got poly locks, you know, because they're roller rocker arms. But remember, a small block Chevy, 283, 327, 307, 350, 400 small block, they all had factory stock adjustable rocker arms. You adjusted them like this. Basically the same way, roller rocker arms, adjustable. But like on some motors, some of your newer Chevys, I ain't sure, I'm more of a Ford man, but like your Fox body Mustangs, you 5.0 roller motors, they just tighten, the stock rocker arm system just tightens down on them. There's no adjustment on them. But when you put a roller rocker arm, then you got to adjust. Okay, they call a hydraulic flat tappet and a hydraulic roller is called zero lash adjustment. So the way you check zero lash, you loosen the rocker arm, which I just did, till you can turn that push rod with your fingers. I'm turning that push rod with my fingers really good. So you'll tighten that rocker arm down till you feel that push rod quits. You can't turn it no more till you got pressure on it. Right there. Back your wrench up to say 15 8 on the clock to 30 on the clock. Quarter turn. That's what I do. Lock it down. They're adjusted. Now you do all the intakes that way, and then you'll go back and do your exhaust like I showed you on that paper. Now on a solid lift flat tappet and a solid lift. Now, like I said, on a solid lift flat tappet and a solid lift roller, it's basically the same way, except when you say you're going to adjust the intake valve on a solid lift cam or a solid lift roller, when that exhaust valve's starting to open, you're going to loosen that intake valve and say, I'm going to show you on my paper out here. This is a solid roller cam in my white Cobra motor. Okay, I'm going to show you right here if I can get this paper to cooperate. All right, valve adjustment. Valve adjustment on the intake, 20 thousandths. Exhaust, 20 thousandths. Okay. So what you would do on a solid lift cam, you'd loosen that rocker arm, take a 20 thousandths feeler gauge, and when you feel it in that, between that rocker arm and that top of that valve stem, pretty tight, pretty, good, not so tight you can't get in there, but, feel it good, you'll tighten and lock it down, you're done. That's the way you do every valve. Just like I showed you on that paper, be the same deal. When that Same adjustment when that intake, on the intake adjustment and exhaust. It's the same for hydraulic and for solid on the way the valves open and close. It's the same deal. I hope that's helpful to you. And I appreciate you watching, and I'll be doing a lot more tech videos. I'm getting ready. I'm going to do another one on getting top dead center and explaining to you about some things that can go on with your harmonic bouncer. And then we'll do one on setting your time and setting stripping time. But anyway, I appreciate you viewing, appreciate your comments, appreciate you liking, subscribing, sharing. Next time, thank you. Mustang Rick out.